Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex.
And I'm Sophie.
And we have just had another Indie World presentation showing off some indie games for the Nintendo Switch coming out soon. And because this is indie games, we have brought together two other channels who specialise in indie games. We've got Cody from Indie Game Pulse.
Hi there, how you guys doing today?
And we've got Jeffrey from the Indie Gaming Guild.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for having us. Super excited to be here.
Cool, and this is the first time in a single video that we've had our three channels together. So this is the YouTube debut of Team Excellence.
Team Excellence.
There will probably be no issues at all.
Yeah, should we do our theme song?
Cody, I think it's da 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 da. Quack quack.
Okay, so we're just going to run through all the games that they showed at the Indie World, and we'll just give our thoughts on them, have a little conversation about each one, and just say how excited we are for them. So, first of all, we'll start with Cody. First game they showed off was a game called Road 96.
So, Road 96 is kind of a choose-your-own-adventure. It looks like a first-person adventure. I really like games that give you many permutations of how an adventure can go, how a story can end. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing more about this one.
Yeah, Road 96 looks interesting. You know, we see a lot of 2D games for indies, so to see a first-person kind of 3D narrative adventure is really nice in the indie scene. So it looks like an interesting story.
Yeah, so I liked that the number kept changing, so I'm guessing there's like so many different possibilities and lots of paths you can take. And yeah, I liked the art style as well, that it was like a 3D kind of world.
Yeah, it's kind of like the world sort of made me think of Half-Life at one point, or like Team Fortress 2 in the character models. That's just the sort of vibe I was getting from it. But I kind of liked the whole, that again, you choose your own adventure, and it showed in the corner like there was like 60-something thousand like number, so I'm guessing is that how many possible paths there are? And also there's a bit like you're in a taxi and it shows like the driver's anger meter. So I'm guessing, does he like kick you out after a while or something? But yeah, that's basically my initial thoughts. So yeah, so it comes out later this year, this one. So how excited are you all for it?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited for it. It's been on my
good.
list prior to this Indie World showcase,
Oh,
but
right.
seeing this trailer again kind of renewed that excitement.
Yeah, so I'd never heard of it before this presentation.
I'm quite interested. What about you, Jeffrey?
I'm not sure. I mean, I like a good, smaller narrative adventure. I don't know. I couldn't get a lot out of it from the trailer. It's probably interesting, but not quite my cup of tea.
Fair.
But I also did that thing where I'm noticing this because you see the developers sort of during the trailers as well. And like they show a trailer, then you get the developers, and then it shows pretty much the trailer again. Although they show new footage this time. I like seeing the developers.
Yeah, I do, because sometimes they're like really awkward and you just like they've created this like really upbeat game and then you see them and they're like this awkward people. But that's quite cool. I quite like that because I'm an awkward person too. So yeah, exactly.
Gives us hope.
It's always awkward.
Okay, so that's coming out later this year. Is it coming out on Steam or anything, Cody?
I think it should be. I think it launches at the same time on all platforms.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I was just wondering, because later, this is obviously we're only talking about Switch release dates here, so some of these games probably already out on other systems. But yeah,
Possibly.
So the next one was called Aerial Knights Never Yield. So let's go, Cody again. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I think this one looks really fun. I couldn't tell from the footage if it was all kind of a 2D runner. But I thought the animation looked really nice, and especially like the world building was really colorful and kind of drew me in.
Yeah, it looks like a kind of a neon-soaked Runner 3 or the Runner series for those that played that from Choice Provisions, the developer. It looks really cool. I mean, I think the Runner games often get a bad rap, but this one looks really stylized, and there is a demo right now on Switch as well. So if people want to give that a try, at least you can try out the game before it comes out in May.
Definitely, I'd say the same thing as you guys. That like it looked really vibrant, and like I quite like that there's a game that you can do parkour in, and the soundtrack as well just sounds amazing. And yeah, I'm definitely trying out that demo.
Yeah, and because I thought as well, Jeffrey, I just thought Bit Trip Runner, but like more animation to it, and I like sort of watching like free running parkour stuff anyway, and it just makes the even though you're just doing the simple button inputs to do it, it just will make it feel more fluid than what the Bit Trip Runner gives you, even though they can make it feel like you're doing them anyway. But also, I did notice that it had like the D-pad in the corner, and it looks like you press up to jump. And I'm kind of hoping there's the option to have a button for jump as well. But then on the Joy-Cons, the D-pad's buttons anyway, so that wouldn't matter too much there. And you also mentioned there's a demo as well, which, so we've been looking for upcoming games that have demos for our next demo talk video, so I'm glad that's getting a demo.
So next one is Last Stop. And Hindsight alongside that. Do you want to talk about that together?
Yeah, they sort of showed those two together.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna put them together anyway, but these were kind of hard for me to tell exactly what they were. I feel like they didn't really show much, if any, actual gameplay, but I did especially like the art in which one was the second one? Hindsight?
Hindsight, yeah.
Yeah, I especially excuse me, I especially like the art style in Hindsight, but Last Stop looks interesting. I don't know that it would particularly be something I would play.
Yeah, these games, like Cody said, it was really confusing the way they showed them, because I like Annapurna as a publisher and developer, but they showed them too closely together where they almost meshed into being the same game. And there was very much this vibe of a very highly emotional, dramatic tale, which for me isn't really my cup of tea, just because I feel like we're bombarded by a lot of drama and emotion in the real world that's not my type of an escape. So I'm not really looking forward to these, but they do look really pretty.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you on that one. The story, it did seem really story-based, and yeah, I didn't see much gameplay in it, so yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of them, really. But they're coming later this year, so hopefully we'll find out more later this year, and they can like build up some more hype towards it. That would be cool.
So the next game is Ollie World. I know this is the one I'm most excited for.
Okay.
So when the developer came on the screen, it showed a skateboard with a logo behind him.
Yeah, I saw that purple skateboard behind him, and I saw the two, and I thought, is that Ollie? I thought. And so it's like a nice little hint behind. So anyway, so Cody, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, I think this one looks really cool. I love the hand-drawn world that they've built here with... they're not really vibrant colors, but they're also not like pastel. I don't know what they are. It's just a really pleasing world to look at, and the gameplay looks super fun.
So this for me is probably I know we'll probably talk about this later, but this for me was probably my game of the indie world. I grew up skateboarding, so any skateboarding game, even if it's not that great, I absolutely love. I don't know if you guys played, but the first two Ollie games, or at least the first two I'm aware of, were a little bit more 2D pixel art, and they were phenomenal. They were such fun platforming type games, but with a skateboard. They're really great. And this one looks to kind of build off of that, but with a more 2.5D, different colorful approach that Cody had said. It just looks really, really fun. A lot of care has gone into it, so can't wait for that one.
Yeah, me too. I really liked, as you said, the colour style. It wasn't vibrant, but it was like interesting to look at. And then the characters as well. There was like these giant bees, fortune teller fish, and then this little frog, the kind of one that reminded me from Spirited Away. And I really liked it. I think I'm really excited for it.
I've played Ollie 2 on the Vita, of all things, and I basically loaded up my Vita this morning and handed it to Sophie, say try out Ollie 2, but she couldn't load it up.
Yeah, it wouldn't load,
because
so.
I think I must have got it as a PlayStation Plus game.
Oh yes,
so
actually that makes
that's
sense.
probably why it wouldn't load up, because I don't have that anymore. But I did play it back in the day, and I did really like it. It's very hard, I found, but it's one of those rewarding when you get the hang of the tricks.
Yeah.
So I really like the fact. Yeah, again, you can sort of it's less 2D feeling, like it showed him like going on the ramp in the background and things like that, and yeah, definitely really looking forward to this one coming out in the winter. That one.
Cool. So the next one, and I think everyone's a bit like wondering what's going on with this one, was The Longing, and it was shadow dropped yesterday.
Yes. So Cody.
I don't know what to say about this one. The fact that it's played out over 400 actual days, right? 400 actual days,
Yeah.
is a really interesting mechanic. It kind of reminds me of what Cozy Grove is doing and like encouraging you to come back every day. I don't know if The Longing has kind of a mechanic like that, but the art style is, I don't know that it's my cup of tea. It's a little bit like haunting and spooky. But this is kind of just a side note too. Did you guys hear how slowly they talked when describing this game?
Hmm.
It was like they were trying to stretch the description out to 400 minutes. It was,
Oh.
I could not, maybe they didn't have enough to say about it, but it was like they were talking at this pace, and this game is 400 days long. Anyway, I don't know that this one is particularly something I would play, but yeah, it's nice that it did shadow drop. I mean, that was exciting.
I feel like a game like this, I guess they probably couldn't do a demo because of the nature of the 400 days, but a game like this does seem to be polarizing, and the art style and the way the game comes across looks, like Cody said, really kind of haunting and spooky, which I love that stuff, but it's just really hard to understand what you do, because if the game just continues on its own and finishes up in obviously a year and a month or whatever, if you don't do anything, then what's the point of what you are doing if it doesn't really speed up the story at all? So it looks really cool, but I think only time will tell what people think of it as it goes on.
Good one.
Oh, I didn't mean for that pun. That's part of the awkwardness here.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd get it, but I'm really fascinated with what's going to happen in 400 days. So I'm going to keep an eye on everyone else who's playing it.
And just to point out, that day, the 400th day, is the 19th of May 2022. I've just looked it up. And which is the day before mine and Sophie's 5th wedding anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Conveniently enough. So
Totally.
yeah, so that game will end before we have married for 5 years.
I hope that it's like not the end of the world. Or
Also, one thing I like to know is the character's name is A Shade, and the game Shadow dropped.
Ooh.
And at the Game Awards, a game called Shady Part of Me shadow dropped. So what is it about the word shade and shadow drop? You know?
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
So the next one is There Is No Game, Wrong Dimension, and that was also a shadow drop.
Yeah, this is probably one that I actually would play. I like that there's a lot of kind of silly puzzles to figure out, a lot of maybe puns or humor in the game. I like that kind of thing in games that I play, and it just seems like there's a lot of variety and things to keep it interesting.
Yeah, this was a really interesting one, just in the sense of what the game is called, but I don't tend to play a lot of point and clicks because I'm generally not smart enough to figure out what to do ever. And so I think a game like this, I don't know how well I would enjoy it, but I do like the comedy aspects. So I think as long as it keeps that humorous tone throughout and keeps you engaged, then it probably could do well with a lot of people.
Yeah, same here. So we don't really play a lot of point and clicks. But yeah, if it's referencing lots of different games as it shows in the trailer, I think we'd be interested.
Yeah, do you know, when the logging was shown, it was like shadow dropped, and I was said to Sophie, I'm so glad that the game that's been shadow dropped is a game I'm not that interested in, because I don't have time for a shadow drop on a game now. I've got so much to do right now. But then they showed this game and I'm like, oh, this looks awesome. And they shadow dropped it, and I haven't bought it or anything, but maybe. I bet then Rain on Your Parade's out now, isn't it, or tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
So today, yeah. So I mean, that's my zany game of the week I'm gonna get.
So the next one is
That's my zany game I'm playing later.
Do you guys not use the word zany?
No, we do.
On rare occasion. Lexicon is also in my rare reference.
Lovely. So the next one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And it's coming later this year, and it's confirmed for Switch.
Yeah. I really hope you guys are excited for this one, because I'm super excited. This actually reminds me of a game I played at our local Pizza Hut. Do you guys have Pizza Hut in UK?
Yeah, we do.
You do? Okay. Anyway, there was like an old arcade machine there, and it had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on it, and it was 1 to 4 players. So I think this will be a lot of fun. It'll be especially fun if you have friends that will play it with you, not if you can play with friends because we know that's an option. So I'm really looking forward to this one. This is probably in my top 3 of games from the showcase.
Cody, what stuck out to most of what you said is I appreciate your poignancy in that a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game reminded you of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
I wasn't going to say anything there, Jeffrey.
I was.
I was going to be nice.
I'm not that nice. It does look really good. So the people, I always want to call the developer .emu. I know it's like .emu or .dotemu or whatever, but .emu for the sake of this. They made the Streets of Rage 4 game that came out in the last year or so, and that was a really polished brawler type game. So the fact that they're making this updated TMNT just looks like Cody said, a throwback to the arcade days. So hopefully it plays well, but it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, but I'm not a big as fan as you guys are.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I just like Michelangelo because he likes pizza and he's a party dude.
Yeah, but Donatello does machines. Come on, he's the best.
No.
But anyway, this is probably my favourite game of the indie world, but it probably isn't at the same time because first of all, we already knew about this game that got announced like last month or something, but I don't think it was confirmed for Switch until this Direct, and yeah, I like .emu. I'm going to pronounce it .emu. That's how I want to say it. But because they did that excellent Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap remake as well, which is one of my favourite games from my childhood. And I don't really play many side-scrolling beat-em-ups like this because I find them a bit repetitive, but it's got turtles in, so I'm probably going to get this. You said about having people to play with. Do we know if this has online or not?
Somebody asked me that yesterday, and I wasn't too clear on it.
Because if it does, then there's 4 of us and there's 4 turtles.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So what the one thing I'm concerned about with the TMNT, the Shredder's Revenge, is that Streets of Rage 4 did have online multiplayer, and that's from the same developer, but it was only for 2 players online, and there's 4 characters in the game. So I think Cody may have mentioned, and he can let us know on the Steam page, but I just hope that if they do have multiplayer, the co-op multiplayer, it's for 4 players, so everyone can play as one of the turtles.
Yeah,
I
so...
hope so.
Oh, sorry, Dave. So
he just said hope so. Sorry, carry on.
So the Steam page does say up to 4 players simultaneously. I mean, hopefully that has crossplay with it. I feel like in this day and age, I'd sound like I'm 60 years old now, but like in the modern era of indie games, I feel like crossplay should be the norm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back in my day, you had to sit on the couch and smell each other as you played.
You had to walk to the arcade with a pocket full of quarters.
I had to walk uphill 2 miles to play this game. Anyway, what's next?
Oh yeah, sorry, Chris tells. So me and Dave know this from Demo Talk.
Yes, we've got plenty to say on it, but we'll let these 2 gentlemen go first.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I actually haven't played the demo, but this is probably my favorite game from the showcase, even though it's an older one. I had it on my top games of coming in 2021 list. But I just really love the graphical style of it, the hand-drawn look, and the mechanic of seeing like past, present, and future all on the same screen. It's kind of like Zelda: A Link to the Past, but in real time. So I'm really looking forward to when this comes out in July.
So this game, I feel like, has been announced and in development for like 12 years now, because I remember hearing it about it years ago, and it seemed like it was right around the corner. And it was most recently supposed to release in January 2021, but obviously with the state of the world, things got pushed for a lot of people. But I hope that this game does actually get to come out now, because the first I've actually seen of a lot of gameplay was actually on your guys' channel, Dave and Sophie. I watched the demo that you did, and it was really fun to see the demo gameplay. So I think JRPG fans do have a lot to look forward to, as long as it can come out this year, hopefully.
Yeah, so we played it, and we quite liked the aspect. We liked the art style. That was one thing that drew our eyes to it. It looks like it's in Holland or somewhere.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
sort
flowers
of setting.
And
it's a bit Paper Mario-y with the 2D characters in that 3D.
Yeah, when you
world.
turn around, it's like a piece of paper flipping, and it looks really cool. And you've got the past, present, and future
Yeah,
as an element in that.
I like that things like she can see like in the future when some buildings are in disrepair, and so she can go to the past to warn the builders about it, and and they're like, "How do you know this?" And like she can't tell.
Because I'm magic.
But when we played the demo of this, there was no release date or price. I don't know if there is a price for it yet, but July 20th. Yes, that's very soon, isn't it?
Super soon.
Yes. So anyway, I'm going to let Sophie try and pronounce the next game title.
Getsu Fumiden Undying Moon from Konami.
Yes.
Releasing next year.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, I was talking with some folks yesterday, and they thought it looked like Dead Cells. Similar kind of play style, the 2D roguelite aspects. I don't really love this art style, and I can't really put my finger on what it's called. But to me, when you're in like the battling sequences, the screen just gets kind of cluttered. Like the opponents have a health bar, and numbers are popping up on the screen at the same time, and it just it feels really busy to me. But I don't know. It looks okay. It's not my favorite.
This game, obviously the trailer was quick, at 30 something seconds, but it looks like an Eastern influence sort of Castlevania. Obviously this is a roguelite, which, can be good or bad depending on how they do it. But the reason I have hope for this game is because it kind of looks like it could just fly into the radar, be a generic game. But there was a game that came out on Switch a few months back called Karma Knight, and on the surface it looked like a very generic, almost terrible game, but ended up being a really, really fun Metroidvania platformer. So this kind of reminds me a lot of that. So hopefully it'll end up being actually a surprise hit.
Yeah, it's probably not my type of thing, but I did quite like that there was a Hydra in it. That's what I wrote down.
That's the only note we made of this game, Hydra. But yeah, I was noticed. Yeah, it's Konami and indie now.
So Konami, kind of like EA does their EA,
I see.
not originals, but like they do their EA like indie stuff. Konami now has a smaller segment that helps indie developers. The other example was a game called Skeletak. That was like a platformer game, but yeah, they do have an arm for indie publishing.
Oh, cool. So you can legally play it, you two. That's good. Even though Cody doesn't want to play it, so anyway, it doesn't matter if it's not. So that's coming out next year. So they've got a year to convince Cody to buy it. That's good. So that's the next game, Sophie.
So Aztec Forgotten Gods. So it looks like a 3D action platform. It's really like, sorry. Carry on, Cody.
Yeah, I actually do really like the look of this, like a 3D, like you said, an action platformer, with a lot of like ancient Mexican or Middle American, not mythology, but maybe mythology. I don't know.
Culture,
but it's from a developer who's made another game in a similar vein. We'll talk about that a bit later, I think. But yeah, I really like the colorful art style, the seemingly kind of open exploration, and I actually will probably check this one out.
This game looks really interesting. Like Cody said, because of the setting itself, we just don't see a lot of games set in that type of environment or culture, as they had said. And what's interesting, the game almost starts out being like a more historical, not like historically accurate, but like a historical mythology almost thing. But then there's clearly some influences of, cyber stuff or like sci-fi that's infused in there with some of the lights and the neon stuff. So it'll be interesting how they fuse those two together, and hopefully it ends up being a good 3D game.
Yeah, so as you were saying, they had like a giant dragon, sort of giant colossus as well. But then they would have it looked like the main character had like a mech arm, so like a mash of like ancient stuff with futuristic stuff.
Yeah, kind of like we see in the Miyazaki
Yeah,
sort of film, with like nature, technology combined. Yeah, so I liked when she had the mech arm and was like gripped hold of like this notch in the wall to run across it.
Oh yeah.
Sort of in that parkour way. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, it looks interesting. It looks like it's action packed, and I like that sort of thing. So yeah, autumn.
Or fall.
I think it said fall in yours. It said autumn in ours.
Yeah.
So
We use both words interchangeably.
cool.
Or if you're actually correct, it's Halloween season.
Yes.
Yes. I mean,
Always.
it's just if you trip over or something, you autumn to the ground. We say.
Let's move on.
I'll cut that bit out. Don't worry.
No, keep it in. It was a good pun.
So the next one is Skull.
With one L.
With one L. Yeah, I've played this game. It's out on PC already. And I actually really like it. It's a 2D pixel art roguelite. And the neat mechanic is that you're a skeleton who can change skulls. So there's so many skulls. I think there's over 70 currently. And
I think they said 90 in the presentation.
Okay. And then today they announced plans for Q2 of this year to add even more and a new game plus mode. So it's nice to see that they're still developing this, but there's skulls from different games. Like there's a skull from Dead Cells that you can pick up, and it adds a lot of personality and flavor to the game, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I will probably check this out again when it comes to consoles, but it's a really great game.
This one looks really awesome. And actually, the first place I ever heard about it and saw footage of it was on Cody's channel, Indie Game Pulse. I hadn't heard of it. It was a Steam, I think, Cody, right? It was a Steam only game, or is at the time, correct?
Yes.
And so he had done a live stream, and he had done like a mini review preview thing of it. And watching his gameplay, it was just clear how awesome this game looked with the nice, really, really crisp and vibrant visuals. The gameplay looked really fast and frenetic. And although, again, I wish not every game like this was seemingly going down the path of roguelite, it still looked like it set itself apart with those skull systems. So hopefully it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, so when I first saw the little character, I thought Hollow Knight, and then I thought, oh, Cody will like this one. And
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And I love pixel art, so I thought it looked really nice, and yeah, I kind of want to have a go. I might play this one.
Yeah, definitely this one looks fun. But then I bought Hollow Knight ages ago and never played it. And I know this isn't the same game, but I could see this going in my backlog at some point. But that's coming out in the summer, so that'll go in the backlog. I'll play it in about 3 years' time on the live stream probably. So
on the next bit, it's the highlights, so we can just do like a quick fire.
Let's be a quick fire. Everyone's just say half a word about every game. Okay, and we'll form a big word.
Finish the sentence
then.
Unless you're really excited by one and you've got lots to say.
Yeah, so just keep this quick fire. So first one was called Art of Rally, coming out in the summer.
Yeah, this one has done really well on Steam already. And I'm a sucker for kind of the low poly aesthetic, so I would like to check this one out.
Yeah, this one looks really great. I'm a huge fan of rally racing games in general, and like the top-down or more isometric perspective. This one looks really, really nice for arcade racing.
Yeah, I really like it too.
Yeah, so the top down of it, and the fact that he was like doing the drifting around the corner stuff just reminded me of a WiiWare game called Drift Mania that I really liked. So yeah, I'm very interested in this one.
The next one's called Kiwi, and it's in August. Carry on.
Yeah, this one was hard to tell from the trailer, but I have read elsewhere that it's like a co-op kind of adventure, or maybe in a similar vein to games like Overcooked and Moving Out, but with cute little birds.
While I don't personally care for, like I said before, a lot of puzzle games, this absolutely looks like one of those incredibly charming games that I would sit down with my wife on the weekend and enjoy. So definitely can't wait for this one.
Cool. It's Kiwis on a typewriter, so I feel like that's fun. Or some sort of machine.
I feel like this needed something more than just a highlight reel, because I have no idea what I just saw.
Sorry. So the next one is Labyrinth City, Pierre the Maze Detective, and it releases in spring.
I don't know. This one looks interesting. It kind of looks like a book. And I think, Jeffrey, you mentioned this yesterday. Where's Waldo? Do you guys have that in the UK?
We call it Where's Wally?
Yeah,
Where's
got
Wally? I have heard that. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is with this. It's kind of hard to tell from these highlights, but this isn't one that I'm super interested in.
If you like Where's Waldo, this is 100% the game for you.
Yeah.
I really do like Where's Wally, and I've got a couple of games called Hidden Objects or Hidden in Time, Hidden Through Time, and this would absolutely be something that I play.
Well, our note, the note we wrote for this was "looks pretty. Where's Wally?"
You
That's
can
what we
tell that I
wrote.
wrote it.
But yeah, I like the look of it. I don't know if it's something I would play. This is a Sophie game, as we say
Yes.
on this channel.
The next one is Weaving Tides, releasing in May.
I like the look of it. It looks like their character is riding like an eagle ray or a manta ray, and so I'm intrigued about this one.
I don't remember this one from the show. Sorry.
I'm annoyed about what Cody says because the only note we wrote for this one was manta ray. That's all we've got about this game.
Manta Ray ×2. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the same. So the next one is House of the Dead remake later this year.
I'm gonna pass my time to Jeffrey because I'm not gonna play this.
I would have never seen this coming. House of the Dead was a game from back in the day. As a kid, you'd play it at the arcade or at a movie theater or cinema, as you might call it elsewhere. I just can't believe this is coming back. I don't honestly think I care about it, but it's just crazy to see it come back.
Yeah, I have House of the Dead Overkill on the Wii, and like playing that game with the Wii Zapper attachment as well was really fun. But I don't know if without that, I don't know how compared to that, how much fun this would be on the Switch. It's one of those games where you're like, well, kind of like when Stubbs the Zombie got ported to Switch. Like, yeah, this is getting ported to Switch, okay. You know.
So the next one is Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, June 22nd.
Ender Lilies is one that I'm super excited about. It's out on Steam in early access, which means it's still in development. But it already has a rating of overwhelmingly positive, which is like the highest rating you can get on Steam. So I really like the look of it. It kind of reminds me of Hollow Knight, and again, I'm a big Hollow Knight fan. So I would really like to check out Ender Lilies, and I think the gameplay looks exciting, and it has some RPG elements too.
Yeah, this one looks amazing. This was my hidden gem of the show. I wish they would have spent more time on it. It reminds me of a mix-up of Salt and Sanctuary and Castlevania, but I hope it comes out, playing really well because it looks fantastic.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed about it was like the character you play as was a bright white figure, and I didn't see too much of the trailer, like from the trailer. So yeah, I'm interested to find out more. So I might go on the Steam website and look up.
Intrigued. So I was like, yeah, you got this bright white character, but the sort of environment kind of, even though I've never played it, I just thought this kind of looks like Bloodstained sort of colours. I don't even know if Bloodstained looks like that, but that's what I wrote down.
It is similar to that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm glad I got that right.
So the next one is Beats. Sorry.
Beats. Drop the beat.
Beasts of Maravilla Island, and it's out in June.
This reminds me a lot of Alba, a wildlife adventure, which came out late last year or early this year, but kind of an adventure of walking around an island or a landscape, taking pictures of animals, and I am all about that.
Dave, I hope I don't steal this from you. 3 words: indie Pokemon Snap.
That is what I said on my notes. And I was going to say, well, we've got a new Pokemon Snap coming out in a few weeks, so I think my photography itch has been scratched there.
Yeah, I just put wildlife photos like Pokemon Snap, but you can walk around.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Sophie game, yeah.
So the next one is Fez, and it was a shadow drop.
I don't really know anything about this except that it's a puzzle platformer, correct? And it looks really pretty, so I would like to play this if I have time.
So for those that don't know, Fez is one of the original indie games. It originally came out probably almost a decade ago now. It's strange that they're not marketing it as like a newer version or an upgrade or remake, because this is one of the first indie games when games started to become digital downloads. I'm not interested, but I know a lot of people will be excited that played it back in the day.
Actually, I haven't played Fez, but it kind of made me think of Captain Toad with the like cube environment type thing, and you walk around it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a 2D pixel-arty game, but you can rotate the environment.
Okay.
So in that way. So yeah, Captain Toad sort of lets you do that as well. But I basically already own this. I think I have it on the Xbox 360, so I won't be getting it on Switch. Got my Xbox up and running again.
Yay.
Okay, so
The last one, the final one.
The one more thing.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals.
So I didn't play the original Oxenfree for more than 5 minutes
Lucky
before I discovered Hollow Knight. Why is that lucky?
Well,
we didn't enjoy it.
we didn't like the game.
Both of you didn't enjoy it.
No.
Oh, it kind of seemed like my thing. It was a little slow, but I kind of like this spooky atmosphere. Is that weird?
Yes.
Well, deal with it. But yeah, I kind of am interested to play this. I would like to play the first one, but I think it's interesting that they started the showcase and ended it with choose your own adventure games. Maybe there's something hidden in there, but I just thought it was interesting.
That is interesting that you point that out. I don't know if anyone expected this. I thought there'd be something different, but like Cody said, I really only played this a very short amount of time, and while it does have a spooky setting, it just didn't hook me. The gameplay was a little too slow, but I do know a lot of people love it. It's very much beloved, so I'm sure that for those fans, the second one will be another gem for them.
Yeah, so when I first heard about it, I was really interested in the spooky atmosphere, and I quite liked the weird triangle thing and, the tuning the radio and the weird noises that you were getting. But I just didn't like how slow it was, and there was like a lot of talking and having to go back to parts of the island, which I know is part of playing it, but it wasn't for me, and I call it small talk and walk. And I don't enjoy those types of games.
Yeah, I didn't really like the characters. Not my thing, that's all.
But yeah, I respect that other people would like it, and they must be excited for the second one, which is totally
definitely. Fair. But I've not seen anyone say yet. Every indie world, everyone says, "Why is there no Hollow Knight Silk Song?" Where's that?
That was all in the chat.
Oh, was it? Oh, I didn't see anything.
Nice.
Good. But no, my big where was it? Where is Skatebird?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Skatebird.
That's the one I'm waiting for. We got a skateboarding game. We got a Birds game. Let's have them merged together.
That's true. That one looks interesting. Yeah.
So, last thing to talk about on this indie world is they announced a sale, a big mega sale, and it's impossible to actually find a list of what's actually in this sale, this particular one, because the eShop has over 1,200 games on sale at the minute. And I was looking on other websites, but have you noticed any indie games on sale that you'd recommend? Maybe some hidden gems?
Yeah, so for me, you guys probably already know what one of them is. It's When the Past Was Around, which is a hand-drawn 2D point-and-click adventure. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a good love story. And the music is really top-notch. It's a soundtrack that's stuck in my head constantly. And it's on sale for like $6 US dollars. And then my other one was from the... what was the name of that developer? The one that did Aztec, Lienzo. They put out a game several years ago called Mulaka, which is kind of the same setting. Have you played that?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's a very similar game, a 3D action adventure, but the art style looks very rich and inviting, and that looks like a very interesting game. And it is on sale for $8.99.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, that When the Past Was Around, me and Sophie played the demo and really enjoyed it, but sadly that sale seems to be US only, that game. So we couldn't find it at the sale price over here.
So on Nintendo's website, and again, this might just be US based, so keep that in mind for anyone in other areas or regions. The ones I found for this spring Indie World sale is just US prices, but the three that jumped out, the first shouldn't be a surprise for anyone that watched Save Dex's. The top roguelites is Dead Cells. It's on sale for those that don't have Xbox, because it is on Xbox Game Pass. But if you just have Switch, Dead Cells is normally $24.99, so it's down to $17.49. It's a fantastic roguelite. Pick that up. There's another game.
Sorry. Yeah, that's on sale in the UK as well. 30% off, £15.74.
Cool.
Can't go wrong with some Dead Cells if you like roguelites.
Yeah.
The next one, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. This is one I've only put a couple hours in, but it's called Faeria. It's Faeria. It's called Faeria. It's basically like like a turn-based card strategy game, which I don't typically go for, but it has a really fantastic tutorial system to guide you into it, and it's a great fantasy world. So it's called Faria. It's normally $20, and it's now down to about $13. Have you guys heard of that game?
No.
I have heard of it. I haven't played it though.
There you go. And then the other one that I found that's going to relate to one of the games in the show, Ollie World, there is a bundle that's on Switch. It's actually down from $15 in the US to just $3, and that's called Ollie Switch Dance, and that includes both the first and the second game. So for $3 to get two great platforming skateboarding games, got to get it.
Yeah, I think that's on sale here as well. I saw. I think the second one's called Welcome to Hollywood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
So my ones were Minute, and it's like a sort of top-down, like a little venture type thing. And you have to basically you have a minute to live, and you progress through the game in these minutes, and you have checkpoints, and it's just such a good game, and there's such a good soundtrack as well. And it's on sale here for £3.59. And it's just really good.
Nice.
And my second one is Ape Out, which I featured in our roguelike and roguelite video, and I just really like it. I think it's really nice art style, and it's got great music, and it's £6.74 here.
It's got lots of blood as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so my two picks I'm going to highlight are there's a game called Agalos, I think it's pronounced. That's a sort of old school sort of Wonder Boy 3 style action adventure game. Sort of where you sort of like, it's a very difficult one as well. I played it last year before I was recording my backlog progression, so I couldn't do a video on it sadly. But that's currently 70% off, so £3.59, which I think, I mean, it took me like over 10 hours to beat it. I think it is a hard game as it goes on, but a really enjoyable one. And the other one I want to point out is a game I mentioned earlier called Shady Part of Me. This is a puzzle platformer where you play as a girl and her shadow at the same time, and like the shadow has 2D gameplay, the girl has 3D gameplay, and you're sort of helping each other to progress through the level to get the girl and her shadow to the end of each room. That was shadow dropped at the Game Awards, and I think it's been overlooked because it was at the pre-show, and then other things got announced and stuff afterwards. I think people overlooked it. But yeah, £9.74, 25% off. Well worth that price, I say.
Very cool. Those are some good choices.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what was your overall thought of the indie world as a whole?
I really enjoyed it. There were some games that were very new to me, and again, I mostly play on PC. But yeah, again, my top games were probably Chris Tales and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I'm really excited about those, and a few others now.
Yeah, overall, it was honestly a really good 20 or so minute presentation. You know, you can't please everyone. There's never going to be anybody totally happy about all of it, but they showed a lot of creativity and a lot of diversity. And I think especially in the indie scene, there's just so much prowess and artistry that comes out in this. So it's nice to see it shown off by Nintendo and that they're embracing these indies. I'm always a little gutted when there's no straight horror game. I always love seeing what they can do with an indie horror game, but that's just a personal thing. But overall, it was a fun show to watch.
Well, those kiwis look scary.
That's true. I mean, the fruits are pretty scary as well. So cut that out.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've really, my favorite game from it was Ollie. Sorry, I've forgotten the name.
Ollie World.
My favorite game was Ollie World, and yeah, it was nice. There was like lots of interesting things, and I am actually interested in what the weird one, the longing. So I'll see what happens.
Yeah, my favourite was the Turtles one, obviously. And also I liked the Ollie World as well. But there's quite a few there. I felt like there was a lot there to please a lot of different people. But I don't think there was anything that was really like huge for the most part. Like no big surprises. But then again, it's like not really that sort of show. But I mean, I think there's got to be at least one thing in there that would please everyone. Yeah, who's a gamer.
I think, I mean, I can't speak for everyone in general, obviously, but I would say the big one for the show, at least for the average gamer that maybe doesn't play as many as we do for our channels, would actually be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because for those that grew up with that, it's going to be a great homage. For those that are younger, haven't played the old ones, that still is a popular show on Nickelodeon stuff, especially now. So I think that probably for the general audience might have been a standout, but that's just my, guess on that.
Do you think they were? Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, the only thing about that one, though, for this show particularly, is it's a game we already knew about.
True.
Do you think Oxenfree 2 was supposed to be the one that was like a big shocker because they saved it until the very end when you thought the show was over? I mean, kind of like a post-credits scene would be in a Marvel movie or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I reckon that was because they did the One More Thing. And I know Oxenfree is a popular game and people that like it really like it. So, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that saw that as the big, oh, my God, like that Smash Ultimate reveal of the Inklings, like that, probably not that level, but, that sort of equivalent.
Who needs Breath of the Wild 2 when you have Oxenfree 2?
Oh, that's why Breath of the Wild, we haven't heard anything about it. They're doing Oxenfree.
You heard it here first. Very cool. It was fun, though. It was a good one. It was a good show all around.
Yeah, so and a very fun discussion as well. So thank you guys for joining us. Do you want to tell everyone about your channel and where they can find you?
Sure. You can find me at Indie Game Pulse on YouTube and Twitter. And we also have a Discord community. But we just do monthly countdowns of top indie games, and we do a lot of reviews too.
Well, first of all, Dave, Sophie, thank you so much for this. This was a really fun time just to be able to chat with you, Cody. I really am grateful to have that time with all of you to chat about this. If you want some good indie game reviews and just content each and every day or every other day, you can find me at the Indie Gaming Guild on YouTube, and come over and we'd love to have you part of the Guild Squad.
Cool, brilliant. I'll link both your channels in the description as well.
Yeah,
and
thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, definitely. It was really fun.
Absolutely.
Okay, so and also, if you want to subscribe to them, everyone, check them out. And also subscribe to us as well. That would be nice. We've hosted this thing.
Yeah, subscribe to Save Decks. Please do. They're one of the best on YouTube. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
So thank you so much for watching this video. Anyone in the comments down below, let us know what your highlights of this indie world are and what games you're looking forward to. It'd be nice to start a conversation down there as well. And again, thank you again for watching. See you in the next one.
Goodbye.